Good evening. My name is Larry Knight, and I'm a Stanton teacher. I'm also one of two name callers for tonight's ceremony. I'm grateful for the last 18 years that I've had the privilege to serve as one of the two name callers for Stanton College Preparatory School's commencement ceremony. It is an honor to watch our students, some of them who I've taught for 4 straight years, reach a milestone in their life, both academically and personally. It's the culmination of their life's journey. It is a moving experience for them and a moving experience for me and my colleagues. That being said, on behalf of the students, my colleagues, the administration, the invited guests, and the gathered family and friends, I respectfully ask that you refrain from interrupting tonight's procession of names with the disrespectful raucousness that is often experienced at ceremonies such as this. While I feel that it's important to celebrate your child's accomplishment, please note that it should not come at the expense of depriving another family of the same honor. As a name caller, I've experienced it firsthand. The lack of civility at these solemn yet joyous events, suggesting a lack of dignity and understanding of the event itself. My colleague, Lorene Burke, and I have had to pause, raise our voices, even repeat the name to extend this precious right to a student and their family. Tonight, let us practice restraint. Let us honor these students by allowing their names to be called as they walk across the stage. Tonight, we ask that you help honor each and every student by reverting back to the days of beautiful, respectful pageantry and remain silent throughout the calling of the 367 names of students who deserve to hear their name as they are presented to you as graduates of Stanton College Preparatory School. Thank you.
relatives, friends, guests, and honored seniors to the 2018 commencement ceremony of Stanton College Preparatory School. Please stand for the processional and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and the National Anthem.
Good afternoon. My name is Shabar Said, and I'm the president of the class of 2018. It's my pleasure to welcome each of you to Stanton College Preparatory's commencement exercises for the 2018 graduating class.
I am Nicholas Noblejas, Senior Class Secretary. I would like to direct your attention to the flag of the United States and ask all of you to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the National Anthem, which will be led by Stanton's choir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Rayan Khan, the Vice President of the senior class. It is an honor to be participating in today's graduation exercise. It is among the most significant and solemn events conducted within the academic world. This ceremony has roots that can be traced to the 1300s. This is a unique celebration in which a faculty attests that its students have fulfilled those academic standards established for the awarding of diplomas. It is especially appropriate, therefore, that this commencement ceremony begins with a special recognition for the Stanton faculty and staff who have dedicated their lives to sharing ideas, insights, and experiences with their students. Some of our faculty are seated on the floor with us, and others behind the stage, working in the wings, so to speak. But each of them deserves recognition. Would our faculty please stand up to be recognized? Thank you, teachers. You may be seated.
The completion of our years in school would not have been possible without the sacrifices, support, and the understanding of our families. For all that you have done to make this day a reality, the graduating class would like to say thank you. Will the families of the graduating class please stand and be recognized? Thank you. You may be seated.
special time, it is both an honor and a privilege to introduce our platform guests. Please hold your applause until all our guests have been introduced. Platform guests, please stand and remain standing until everyone on your row has been introduced. On the front row to my left are Ms. Nangoma Majova Siani, Principal, Stanton College Preparatory School, Dr. Patricia Willis, Superintendent of Schools, the Honorable Paula D. Wright, Board Chair, Duval County School Board, District 4, Dr. Kelly Coker Daniel, Assistant Superintendent for Accountability and Assessment, Dr. Pamela Davis, Executive Director, Dropout Prevention and Support. Thank you. You may be seated. On the back row to my left are Mr. Larry Cobb, Stanton School Advisory Council and parent of a Stanton senior, Ms. Monica Bordanka, President, Stanton Parent Teacher Student Association and parent of a Stanton senior, Ms. Tamara Fagans, Principal, James Walden Johnson Middle School, Mr. Tim Fagans, Principal, Julia Landon College Preparatory and Leadership Development School, Mr. Kenya Griffin, Principal, Kirby Smith Middle School, Mr. Truett Moreland, Principal of Young Men and Women's Leadership Academy, Ms. Erica Sheehan, Stanton Teacher and National Honor Society sponsor, Mr. Larry Knight, Stanton Teacher and name announcer for graduation. Thank you. You may be seated.
On the front row to my right are Shabir Sayed, President of the senior class, Rayan Khan, Vice President of the senior class, Nicholas Noblejas, Secretary of the senior class, Christopher Byroads, Valedictorian of the senior class, and Megan Lentz, Salutatorian of the senior class. Thank you. You may be seated. On the back row to my right are Kayla Witecki, Stanton Senior and the 2018 commencement speaker, Mr. Matthew Hemphill, Stanton Assistant Principal, Mrs. Sonia Raming, Stanton Assistant Principal, Mr. David Piper, Stanton Teacher and parent of a Stanton Senior, Mrs. Nora Betancourt, Stanton Teacher and National Honor Society sponsor, Mrs. Laureen Burke, Stanton Teacher and name announcer for graduation. Thank you, and you may be seated. And I am Kashmala Zeb, historian of the class of 2018, and this is Usmite Waldegoris, treasurer of our class.
We are very pleased that our guests have joined us this afternoon to honor our graduates. Please give them another round of applause.
Good evening. My name is Megan Lentz, your class of 2018 salutatorian, and it is an honor to be able to give an introduction for our valedictorian, Chris Byroads. He is a robotics virtuoso, passionate about physics and discovery, and seemingly always clad in his Team Resistance t-shirt and flip-flops. Although I didn't get to know Chris well, there are two things I know for sure about him: that he's just as clueless about what the homework was as the rest of us, and that he is really good at being good. The embodiment of a well-rounded student, a modern-day Renaissance man, a jack of all trades, and master of them all too. Cross-country runner by day and metal musician by night, not only is Chris an academic, but he's also an athlete and an artist. Best of all, even with all his talents and intelligence, he has always remained humble and willing to help his classmates without a hint of condescension or impatience. I feel lucky to have known Chris for what little time I have. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to present our valedictorian, Chris Byroads.
Hi. To my family, who have given me constant, unwavering support, to our outstanding teachers who have sacrificed countless hours of their time to educate us, and to other faculty who did a good job being faculty, to my friends who have been there for me whenever necessary and have primarily been a good influence, to my best friends who have been there for me whenever necessary and have sometimes been a bad influence, to my two cats, Fluffy and Purry, and to the entirety of the class of 2018. Thank you. I quite literally could not have graduated without you. Class of 2018, I admire you. Uniqueness, passion, and inspiration are the qualities I value in an individual. You have shown me these and taught me much more. For example, I have learned why Hershey's do not choose the name Nut and Great Pleasure, although synonymous for their Almond Joy brand of candy. Also, I've learned that the only way the laws of physics will permit the class of 2018 to win a pep rally are if Devonique, MC Big D Daddy Dev, Biswas attends. But more seriously, we all have put off and dragged out assignments while at Stanton, but I would like to talk about a different sort of delay. I mean, putting off fulfilling the individual inside of you while waiting for the approval of others, sacrificing action for the sake of a vague dream. Delaying who you are is far more serious than delaying any schoolwork you could ever have. So at some point, you have to start with the simple things. I'd like to ask you, after the graduation ceremony is over, to take a look outside, breathe the air, take in the sun, listen to the cars, and walk on the ground. As you do this, the atoms of the molecules in your shoe will shake back and forth about 10 million times every second, colliding with the molecules in the ground and forcing them to jiggle every time you place your foot on the ground. The sun will beat down on you with 600 watts of energy, although probably not today, for every square meter where you may stand. Spheres of transmitted air pressure will zoom back and forth, transforming the vibrations of your city into the vibrations of the bones in your ear. So, you have to stop and wonder. You realize that these processes have been going on for billions of years. You realize the world is a fascinating, wonderful place, far more complicated and interesting than what your peers, enemies, or society could have to say. You realize the world is a sandbox filled with all your future paths. And suddenly, letting people tell you who to be seems ridiculous. Instead, be who you are, speak your mind, be a green fiend, and go against the current. So congratulations, class of 2018, and have fun.
Thank you, Chris. We're all proud of your accomplishments, and at this time, we would like the Stanton Band, under the direction of Mr. Galen Peters, to play their selection of The Crossings.
Thank you, Mr. Peters and members of the band for that beautiful selection. The senior class at Stanton chooses to have a student-led graduation ceremony. We do not invite the traditional commencement speaker. Instead, after a careful selection process, one of our own seniors is chosen to deliver the commencement address. It is with great pleasure that I am able to introduce our next speaker, who is quiet when looked at from afar, and sometimes in a crowd, but with her witty sense of humor and quite inquisitive in her quest for knowledge. Our commencement speaker this year is Kayla Witecki.
Wikipedia defines courage as the choice and willingness to confront pain, danger, uncertainty, or intimidation. And I know Wikipedia is not a reliable source itself, but stick with me here. By that definition, courage is something inherent in everyone. Consider the times you talked to somebody new, decided to run for an officer position, or decided to stick with it and graduate from the 6th ranked school in the country. By that definition, all of these exemplify courage. But as we grow, some tasks require a little less courage than before. Looking back 4 years ago, there's probably a multitude of things that you were too afraid to do, while now they seem like nothing. Like the first time you walked into school as an incoming freshman. It seemed so large, so easy to get lost in. What was the difference between the East and the West Wing? Where was that arts building? And why the heck does everyone keep telling me there's a swimming pool on the roof? Now, that all is a little humorous, since we have all learned to walk through the sunshine hallway to avoid crowds and avoid getting dress coded. And we are fully aware that there is no swimming pool on the roof, but you tell the freshmen just to keep the myth alive. As we leave our safety net of high school, approaching our new part of our lives, seemingly filled with fear, danger, uncertainty, and intimidation, we must consider, what are ways we can adapt to our new situation and live courageously in that setting? Now, who am I to tell you about courage? I'm some teenager who has not experienced much outside my comfort zone, except maybe for speaking to all 6,000 of you. So, for some inspiration, I did what any other post-millennial would do. I took to social media. I asked my friends and family what advice they would offer to a scared, stressed out 18-year-old entering the next stage of their life. As I mulled over the advice I was offered, I found 4 points that really stood out and thought they were valuable enough to share with all of you. One idea that resonated with me was the advice of don't be afraid to slow down. This directly challenges pretty much everything that we've been doing these past 4 years, trying to get from tutoring to a club meeting to a sporting event, and finally home at 10:30 to start homework and studying. I cannot even imagine adding in all those rehearsals some of you had to do. Major props to you on that one. With these crazy schedules, everyone was always running around crazy, trying to get everything done. But in the weeks leading up to graduation, amidst the countdown, we have been running towards something we value a bit more, the finish line. We flew through our AP and IB tests, turned in our textbook as soon as we could, picked up our cap and gowns, and haven't looked back since. This great rush to forget high school and move on has limited our ability to truly commend ourselves on the efforts that we have put in, as well as appreciate the people that have helped us get to this point. It has made us forget to thank our teachers for their hard work instead of begging them to round our grade. Or overlook telling your parents you love and appreciate them rather than just telling them you need 7 new outfits for graduation parties. And the most unfortunate is probably our friends, who have been there through thick and thin, through all the trials and tribulations. Before you move halfway across the country, or even halfway across the state, take a moment to cherish the last months, weeks, or even days you have left together. Another piece of advice that was commonly offered was to have the audacity to embrace mistakes. This might be difficult for some of us to take to heart, especially after 4 years of measuring success as not failing, not losing points on an assignment, or maintaining your GPA. This focus on an intense student's perception of failure often made learning take a back seat. We will need to flip this priority. Once we give learning the greatest value, the mistakes will become learning opportunities. This takes the stress off the idea of failure. Consider our football team. This year, they overcame a long tradition of finishing the season with a losing record. The best win being against Paxton, of course. This was not dumb luck or good karma for all those tough seasons. It was Coach Healy and his coaching staff taking the mistakes they had done in the practices and the games and the seasons prior and putting them back into practice, having his players learn from their mistakes and grow as athletes. It was the lessons they learned in practice that allowed them to put it all together and perform well in the game and win. This kind of philosophy can be difficult, especially at such a young age. But if we learn this now, we will be able to practice it effectively when it really counts. It is more difficult, yet more beneficial, to take each mistake as a learning experience and grow from them. Stanton has been a fertile ground where individuality has been allowed to thrive. It may seem simple, but another piece of advice I gathered was be brave enough to be yourself. Beyond the gates of Stanton, we may find ourselves in situations that attempt to limit us to fit within the cookie-cutter figure of perceived expectation. Pleasing others is the ultimate goal of most of our human interactions. I'm not saying all of you always fit into this generalization, which I commend you on. But as we move forward, we must recognize the need to embrace uniqueness. In doing so, our lives will be that much richer. Consider this. How often have you found yourself in someone's passenger seat and they ask you, what kind of music do you like, trying to pick a playlist? Often we answer with, oh, I'm fine with anything. I want us to challenge ourselves next time we're in this situation. Have the courage to be genuine and be specific. Had I just confessed my love for Maroon 5 or Nicki Minaj, I am sure I would not have found myself sitting in silence or listening to a song I'm not quite a fan of so often. Although, if we profess the importance of our own individuality, then we must also be brave enough to accept others. Don't allow quirky first impressions to limit friendships. Had I allowed Lindsay Schmidt's whispering of Beyoncé lyrics to herself the whole hour and a half of Algebra 2 to be the sole factor in furthering our acquaintance, I would have missed out on her quick wit and unwavering kindness. In the upcoming months, as we increasingly find ourselves in unfamiliar places with unfamiliar people, be brave enough to open up to these people and allow them to open up to you. We are not alone at any point in our lives. We always will have common ground with the people around us, but it is our responsibility to surround ourselves with people that have different strengths, different interests, and different backgrounds. If you embrace all of this, it will greatly enrich your life. The final piece of advice I would like to share with you is act. Act in the face of fear. The fear of pain, fear of danger, fear of uncertainty, and fear of intimidation. It is easy to get paralyzed by fear. But what if instead you act and there is success? I don't know how many of you know about this, but a couple of months ago, Ryan Gustin decided that he was going to do a standing back tuck. I guess to be even more like Sims. He took this challenge on, disregarding fear of any kind. At the beginning, he fell, and for a while, he needed a spotter to avoid injury. While the videos of him falling are much funnier, the video of the first time he actually did it on his own was incredibly exciting. Sometimes you may need that extra support from someone, but it does not lessen your victory. It just means you have more people to celebrate it with. So, as we enter the uncertain future, let us not allow fear to stop us from acting. In any situation you are faced with, the possibility of greatness alone should be enough to propel you through any difficult choice. If I know anything about Stanton students, it is that we are driven, hardworking, incredibly talented, and capable of everything. So, choose courage. Choose to broaden your horizons. Choose to take risks. And choose to celebrate wherever life takes you after today. I cannot wait to see the world after we have left our mark on it. Class of 2018, congratulations and good luck, because thankfully, with a little courage, this is just the beginning.
Thank you, Kayla, for your witty and yet inspirational words. At this time, I would like to take this opportunity to sing praises for this group of students seated before me, and you guys too. The class of 2018 has been accepted to colleges in over 25 states. This class has earned over $21 million in scholarships and has numerous members. Yeah, go ahead, give them a big hand. And additionally, they have numerous members who've been recognized by one of the National Merit Scholarship programs. Now you can give them another hand. Many of our students are wearing sashes, stoles, and cords, which represent various honor societies and organizations. The designation is noted in the program, and we want to commend each of you for earning them through the requirements established. We have two programs of study at Stanton, the honors program and the IB program. The students in the honors program have completed a minimum of 7 advanced placement courses. That's not a child's play. They have all taken examinations produced by the College Board, and successful completion will ensure advanced standing at the college or university level. Students in the IB program have completed the rigorous IB curriculum, which includes examinations in 6 key subject areas: 150 hours, a 400-word extended essay, and a theory of knowledge course. In order to earn the IB diploma, each student must successfully complete examination in 6 key subject areas. Diploma recipients will be announced in July, and these students will be honored in December at the University of North Florida. The hard work and determination of all these students has resulted in Stanton being kept ranked as one of the top high schools in Florida. Give them. At this time, honor students, please rise and be recognized. Thank you. You may be seated. IB diploma candidates, will you please stand and be recognized? Thank you, and you may be seated. At this time, I would like to welcome Dr. Patricia Willis, Superintendent of Schools, to join me at the podium. So, Dr. Willis, I am extremely proud to present to you Stanton College Preparatory School Class of 2018. Each student here assembled has completed all requirements as prescribed by the Duval County School Board and the state of Florida, and is hereby entitled to receive a high school diploma.
By the authority vested in me by the state of Florida and the Duval County School Board, I pronounce upon those of you who have completed the necessary requirements, graduates of the Duval County School System, and confer upon each of you all rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations. Graduates, please stand.
Okay, now you may be seated. Members of the audience, the names of the graduates will be called in rapid succession. It is extremely important that everyone remain quiet, holding your applause until all of the names of the graduates have been called. Members of the senior class, when your individual name is called, please come forward.
Jared Michael Abraham.
Zuleika Rianzares Abueg.
John Aceto.
Madison Joy Ackerman.
Deo Ray Agnella.
Edmund Elam Ahiahonu.
Allah Imad Ajawi.
Sammy Akam Ali.
Chase Lee Allman.
Sumant Aluri.
Alexis Virginia Anthony.
Ariana Reyes Arcenas.
Marjorie Tagabe Arguila.
Emma Catherine Armstrong.
Naja Nicole Ashman.
Jamie Nicole Averett.
Bethany Batchelor.
Rushida Bachu.
Michaela Hope Barksdale.
Drew Michael Barrow.
William Bast.
Bryce Dylan Battle.
Catherine Marie Beal.
Jacob Edward Becker.
Tegan Alexandra Beloit.
Gabriel Stewart Bennett.
Kendall Ann Berry.
Devonique Biswas.
James Sukata Black Eagle.
Alexandru G. Bordanka.
Tracy Borelis.
Sebastian Esteban Borge.
Paul Avante Bounds.
Brian Richard Borasa.
Shamir Joshua Darius Borsico.
Jordan Brianna Bowen.
Sarah Elizabeth Boyd.
Lauren Michael Bradford.
Danielle Marie Brewer.
Jordan Ray Briones.
Melissa K. Browning.
Victoria Hope Brundage.
Connor Mackenzie Butch.
Brady Andrew Bunker.
Asia Janae Burles.
Jorge Antonio Cantu.
Melanie Basagelupe Cardozo.
Heidi Ann Carlson.
Hannah Ann Carolyn.
Brandon Antonio Castro.
Megan Patience Kristovich.
Rika May Jacob Siriaco.
Alexis Cisneros.
Ermin Civic.
Grace Virginia Cobb.
Finley Ann Collins.
Jason Samuel Collins.
Cooper Glenn Connolly.
Madison Michelle Contos.
Kyle Scott Crawford.
Sophie A.J. Chrisman.
Andrew Josh Cuevas.
Lauren Rebecca Dalrymple.
Aiden Grace Deanna.
Emily Jo Davenport.
Megan Sue Dankert.
Brianna Claire Davy.
Natalie May Davenport.
Olivia Sterling Davis.
Emily Elizabeth Davy.
Brooke Alexandra Davis.
Amia Elizabeth Davis.
Warren Bernard Day.
James Andrew Davis.
James Anthony Dimps III.
Danielle Verada Dedios.
Caitlin Ann Devine.
Lauren Taylor Deerstein.
Austin Huai Den.
Donchacon Aranis Digo.
Lydia Rose Dobransky.
Jennifer Doan.
Maya Danielle Duxon.
Lainey Ryan Doherty.
Helen Margaret Dunn.
Ethan Monroe Dunn.
Abigail Meredith Ellis.
Parks Brentham Easter.
Hannah Paige Emmons.
Hannah Page Elrod.
Nathan Ezra Esteban.
Destiny Alexa Ensminger.
Hadassah Shama Examond.
Miles Daniel Every.
Daniel Robert Faltmeyer.
Gabriella Eiler.
Andres Ian Feliciano.
Abigail Tess Farah.
Anna Tonhai Finati.
Denise Christine Ferrioli.
Michael Flores.
Nicole Suzanne Fleury.
Valerie Nicole Fonseca.
Anthony Dennis Flowers.
Ethan Jacob Frederick.
Jonathan Christian Francisco.
Tracy Layla Gaballo.
Elder Javier Funes Cruz.
Derek Santos Galong.
Chadwick Thomas Goff.
Francis Andrew Gallardo.
Grady Ernest Galbraith.
Athul Ganju.
Olivia Lorraine Galler.
Monica Valentina Garcia.
Isabel Kristen Garcia.
Manasi Garg.
Nicole Page Garcia.
Keon Terrell Gethers.
Lauren Hahn Gates.
Trevor Scott Gillespie.
Yash Uday Garat.
Alexandria Caitlin Gambas.
Chloe Danielle Giroux.
Jucole Tiana Jewel Grace.
Nikhil Busham Godbol.
Gibson Elliott Grimm.
Nathan James Gould.
Ryan Zachary Guston.
Isabella Victoria Green.
Daphne Marie Hall.
Peyton Grace Gyrie.
Nicholas Ryan Hammett.
Maham Hayder.
Matthew Parisi Hanneman.
Kiara Isabella Hamilton.
John Howard Harris.
Kunal Krishna Anchate.
Avery Lauren Hatfield.
Angelina Amara Ankayan Howe.
Jessica Ting Hu.
Peyton Elizabeth Harris.
Nicole Kirsten Hunzinger.
Autumn Grace Marguerite Hawkins.
Kendall Kern Jackson.
Imani Elizabeth Hudson.
Alan James.
Vincent Wynn.
Casey Daniel James.
Mudimitha Jagadesh.
Jose Dominic Lobetos Homero.
Caroline Saleh James.
Kevin Joe Jessen.
Kevin Joseph James.
Drew Wataru Johnson.
Michael Allen Jenkins.
Megan Lori Jolly.
Paula Jimenez Reed.
Clark Mitchell Jones.
Jared Logan Johnson.
Hafsa Kalim.
Cameron Gloriana Jonathan.
Mary Allison Kane.
Ji Yun Jun.
John Joseph Kelher.
Sharif Khaled Kamal.
David J. Kim.
Mateen Ruhi Kashef.
Min Young Kim.
Joshua Luke Kendrick.
Brianna Marie Kirby.
Jihae Kim.
Stephen Cosmo Konopasik.
Subin Julia Kim.
Perrette Michael Kesmu.
Brian David Kohler.
Maxwell Dae Young Lee.
Marcella Kusorchich.
Patrick Michael Lehman.
John Edward Lagoy.
Jacob Brett Linhart.
Sydney Brooks Laughlin.
Devin Elizabeth Lavasser.
Caitlin Bueno Legaspi.
Simone Ariel Lewis.
Sarah Jean Leach.
Jacob Foster Lim.
Jude LaSaint.
Francis Lionel Jr.
Ellis Martin Levine.
Stanley Lewis XVI.
Sydney Elise Lewis.
Tori Lundy Jr.
David Lynn.
Rohan Chandra Madathil.
Devin Paul Lister.
Jeremy Shonglot Marin.
Tristan Hannah Lusto.
Grace Catherine Maisie.
Victoria Sunha Lynch.
Peter Miltiathis Mavros.
Sabrina Chloe Mail.
Reese Mark McLaren.
Sophia Heather Silva Marquez.
Julian Weston Medina.
Sydney Aaron Matthews.
Travis Scott Melamed.
Kayana Malia Maxi.
Christina Danielle Marino.
Justin Tyler McNeely.
Mitchell Lee Micah.
Paul Scott Medina.
Walker Tyson Miller.
Alexis Nicole Middleton.
Max David Mizrahi.
Jeffrey Clark Miller.
Aditi Mandal.
Nija Jewel Million.
Catherine Nelline Moody.
Simon Modak.
Elizabeth Ann Lachey Moore.
Hannah Lucille Moody.
Latarian Rashond Moore.
Donovan Alexander Moore.
Brianna Nicole Moreland.
Jordan Kiana Moore.
Amelia Elizabeth Madison Moser.
Brenna Moraid Moorcraft.
Iman Nazrullah.
Jalen Micah Morris.
Denite Baraket Netzarab.
Luke Emmanuel Mozoff.
Liam Thomas No.
Karen Nicole Noth.
Justin Quang Win.
Jared J. Newell.
Jonna Rayanne Kayla Noel.
Daniel Wen.
William Gerald Nowak.
Catherine Wen.
Jasmine Janelle Oberes.
Rachel Nicole Noriega.
Thomas Elias Osi.
Regina Oguegueno Obata.
San Min Park.
Kaylin Elizabeth Oliver.
Kunj Kiran Patel.
Abigail Leisha Paralon.
Sean Tariq Patel.
Subash Pacha.
Jasmine Brianna Pearson.
Kush Kiran Patel.
Hannah Margaret Pinland.
Anissa Monique Pearson.
Kimberly Angelique Perez.
Alexander Primisil Peck.
Brandon Lee Pond.
Jonathan Jude Pereira.
Isabella Grace Puskis.
Riley Phillips.
Maria Jose Ramirez.
Aaron Michael Portel.
Hannah Lee Rathburn.
Asia Sinclair Quimbley.
Andrea Marie Rilova.
Elizabeth Christina Ramsey.
Daniel Alexander Reyes Rivera.
Shreya Ravi.
Shannon Lynn Reel.
Jared Nathaniel Revis.
Miguel Eduardo Rocha.
Dylan Lorenz Rhodes.
Laura Raquel Rodriguez.
Rachel Lynn Robbins.
Sushanti Rupesh.
Laura Maria Rodriguez.
Isabel Marie Santana.
Samantha Rodriguez.
Morgan Elizabeth Sarab.
Demi Saka.
Zachary Daniel Schickler.
Nico Santiago Wright.
Kirsten Alyssa Seeley.
Gary Anye Savage.
Callie Grace Sellers.
Lindsay Claire Schmidt.
Joy Sue.
Mehul Setimani.
Daria Deepak Shah.
Alexander Joseph Sessions.
Sumarth Sharma.
Emma Patricia Schaefer.
Jacob Michael Sheldon.
Spencer Caldwell Shannon.
Francisco Christ Shino.
Owen McCormick Shea.
Camille Kilaiko Sikonko.
Clara Margaret Shelton.
Cristiana Danielle Pinaflorida Sierra.
Haley Danielle Shanego.
Archuna Sivukumaran.
Andrea Maxine Manapsa Seacat.
Samuel Lang Skiles.
Jasper Kenneth Shu.
Alexander Robert Slupsky.
Elvis Skinberry.
Autumn Gray Smith.
Bailey Christian Skinner.
Andrew Gates Snelson.
Akai Jawan Smith.
Giancarlo Santos Soliman.
Rashawn Talib Smith.
Micah Spanos.
Sabrina Rose Snyder.
Troy Joseph Spencer.
Esther Song.
Catherine Ann Stair.
Morgan Monet Spencer.
Ellery Taylor Sousa.
Louis Ray Steele.
Jalen Zakara Taylor.
Savannah Rose Sturm.
Jacob Jamar Terrell.
Caitlin Nicole Alberto Tan.
Anthony Terrell Thompson.
Brooke Nicole Terrell.
Jeremy Daniel Tinana.
Carmen Alexis Thomas.
Corey Ray Travis.
Matthew Hunter Thompson.
Chisholm Chimela Yukoa.
Bronze Spencer Titus.
Lauren Mendoza Ui.
Dylan Robert Trumbull.
Maria Anna Rafaela Yamant Velena.
Matthew Allen Utset.
Brooke Mackenzie Warleitner.
Govin Venugopal.
Isabella Rose Weatherington.
Simon Martinez Villones.
Caroline Elizabeth White.
Janae Rudine West.
Jordan Simone Williams.
Jacob Daniel Wheeler.
Trisha Mendoza Willie.
Isaac Burns Wiley.
Taylor Leanne Wilson.
Ronald Eugene Williams.
Dylan L. Yan.
Kashmir Desha Wilson.
Jesse Ching Urin.
Jonathan Brandon Woodbine.
Cindy Zhang.
Stanley Yang. Samuel Zhang. Kevin Kang Zhou. Kayla Jane Wataki. Megan Gentry Lentz. Christopher Fyrogs. Kashmala Zeb. Asmai Tesfase Walda Gorgeous. Nicholas Scott Noblejas. Rayon Rahman Khan. Shabar Hussein Sayed.
Graduates, please rise. Now, class of 2018, join me as we move our tassels from right to left, signifying that we are graduates. Congratulations, graduates. We made it. Please remain standing, and guests, will you also rise and join in the singing of the alma mater and remain standing at your seats for the recessional.
Thank you.